There's a certain kind of woman you notice without even meaning to. She's not the loudest in the room, and she's not wearing the most expensive dress. Yet you feel her presence before you see her face. One morning, I was sitting in a small cafe watching the sunlight move across the tables. And that's when she appeared. No rush. No fuss. Just a quiet walk to the counter, as if the whole world was moving at her pace. Her hair was softly swept back, not perfect, but perfectly her. A light cream blouse, the kind that moves when you move. Trousers that seemed made just for her. A silk scarf draped over one shoulder, catching the light in the gentlest way. No logos. No look-at-me moments. Yet I couldn't take my eyes off her. What was it? It wasn't youth, though she was beautiful. It wasn't glamour, though she carried a certain grace. It was something else, something deeper. She looked like a woman who knew exactly who she was, and that knowledge followed her like perfume. Here's the truth, every elegant woman over 50 has this in common. It's not about chasing what's new. It's about choosing what feels like you, the fabrics, the colors, the shapes that tell your story without saying a single word. Today, I'm going to walk you through what these women wear, the small, intentional choices that make them look timeless and make the world stop for just a moment when they walk by. Because elegance isn't an age, it's a way of living in your clothes and in your own skin. When she sat down at her table that morning, I noticed something else, the way her blouse seemed to fall just right when she moved her arm. Not stiff. Not fussy. Just easy. That's the thing about truly elegant clothes, they work with you, not against you. Fabrics have a language of their own. Linen that lets the air touch your skin on a warm day. Silk that glides as you move, catching light in quiet moments. Cashmere that feels like a soft embrace when the evening gets cool. Organic cotton that's light but never flimsy, the kind that lasts through seasons and still feels new when you put it on again. When you choose fabrics that breathe, that move, that age with you, you never feel like you're wearing someone else's idea of style. You feel at home in your own clothes. And that feeling shows in how you walk, how you sit, how you carry yourself. I think of a summer lunch I once had in a friend's garden. Table was under a tree heavy with blossoms, the kind of day where the breeze was just enough to keep you comfortable. I wore a skirt made of the softest linen, and every time I stood to refill my glass, it moved with the air. It wasn't trying to be noticed, but it was alive, the way only natural fabrics can be. That's the secret. Your clothes should be a companion, not a cage. They should move when you move, rest when you rest, and never remind you they're there in the wrong way. If you've ever had one piece of clothing that made you feel instantly at home in your own body, you know exactly what I mean. As I watched her stir her coffee that morning, I noticed something else, the color she wore. It wasn't loud, it wasn't chasing a season's trend, yet it seemed to make her whole face glow. A soft cream, almost ivory, that worked like light on her skin. That's when I remembered, color can speak before we do. Over the years, I've learned that not all colors treat us the same way. Some drain the life from our skin, some sharpen lines we'd rather soften, and then there are the ones that feel like they were made for us. They warm the tone of your skin, they brighten your eyes, they make you look well-rested even if you didn't sleep well the night before. Muted neutrals, like soft taupe, warm beige, and gentle grays, have a quiet power. They create a backdrop that lets you shine instead of competing with you. Then there are the soft pastels, not the candy colors of youth but the sophisticated ones, dusty rose, powder blue, a soft sage green. They add just enough color to feel fresh without overwhelming. And then there's my personal favorite, jewel tones. A deep sapphire, an emerald green, a rich wine red. They're bold without shouting, elegant without effort. They have a way of making evening wear feel regal and day wear feel confident. I still remember the day I found my magic shade. I was in a small boutique, not looking for anything in particular. The sales assistant handed me a simple blouse in a creamy ivory. I hesitated, I thought it might wash me out. But when I tried it on, something changed. My skin looked warm, my eyes brighter. felt well like myself, only better. From that day on, I never let that shade go. That's the beauty of knowing your colors. You stop wasting money on things that don't work, and you start wearing pieces that love you back. Drop your own magic color in the comments. I'd love to know the shade that makes you glow. You know that feeling when you see something gorgeous in a store window, try it on, and suddenly realize it was clearly designed for someone half your age and with none of your curves? I've been there, more times than I can count. For years I blamed myself. Maybe I just needed to lose a little here, tone up a little there. But the truth wasn't about my body at all, it was about the clothes. They were never made with me in mind. The first time I walked into a tailor's studio, I was nervous. I thought tailoring was for celebrities or people with bottomless budgets. But when I slipped into that first jacket they had adjusted for me, not for some average size, it was like stepping into a version of myself I hadn't seen in years. My shoulders looked straighter. My waist had definition again. I could actually move without feeling like the seams were going to protest. That's the beauty of clothes that belong to you and fit. They don't just sit on your body, they travel with you through your day. Whether you're bending to pick up your grandchild, reaching across a table at lunch with friends, or walking into a boardroom, they stay with you. And here's the magic balance: comfort and contour. Too loose and you disappear inside the fabric. Too tight and you spend the whole day tugging, pulling, and regretting your choices. The sweet spot is where the fabric follows your shape without clinging, where you feel like yourself, only sharper, more polished. If you've never had a pair of trousers hemmed to your perfect length, or a blouse darted so it falls in just the right place, start there. Even an inexpensive piece can look like it came from a designer boutique when it's fitted to you. And keep watching, because in just a moment I'm going to share the one accessory that can make any outfit feel instantly elevated. And no, it's not jewelry, you might be surprised. Some women carry their beauty in their walk, others in their voice. But the truly unforgettable ones? They carry it in the one thing that never changes. Maybe it's the silk scarf you wore when you first fell in love. The one that's traveled with you from one season of life to the next. Its edges a little frayed now, but richer in story than when it was new. Or maybe it's a delicate gold bracelet, thin as a whisper, that you've worn every day for 30 years. Kind people notice only when they lean close, but when they do, it feels like they've been invited into your life. This is what I call your signature piece. It's not about chasing trends or making loud statement choices. Statement pieces speak to the moment. Signature pieces speak to you. The difference? A statement necklace is something you put on for a night out. A signature necklace is the one people would notice missing from your neck in an old photograph. Take pearl earrings, for example. I once knew a woman who wore them with everything, from her black evening gown to her white tennis skirt. They were not big or flashy, just soft and luminous like she was. If she wore anything else, she looked incomplete. Her friends would smile and say, "Where are your pearls?" And she'd laugh because she knew they were as much her as her own name. Or the woman in Paris I met who always wore a navy silk wrap, no matter the season. In summer, she'd drape it lightly over her shoulders with a sleeveless dress. In winter, she'd layer it over a coat. She told me she liked the way navy made her skin glow, and the way silk felt like a secret against her neck. Over the years, people stopped describing her hair or her clothes and simply said, "You know, the one with the blue scarf." Your signature piece becomes a part of your presence, a quiet introduction before you speak. Tells the world who you are without shouting. The beauty of this is that it works with any body type, lifestyle, or age. A signature doesn't need to fit in the way clothes do. Whether you're curvy, petite, tall, or somewhere in between, your piece belongs to you, not your measurements. If you live in the city, it can be a sleek leather bag. If you spend your days in the garden, maybe it's a woven straw hat. The secret to choosing one? Pick something that feels natural in your hands. If it feels like trying, it's not it. Choose quality over quantity. Your signature piece should last decades, not seasons. Make sure it can adapt. Dress it up, dress it down. Let it be part of your story, not the whole story. Think about the women you admire, the ones who seem ageless. You'll notice they often have one element that never changes. It's their anchor in a world that's always shifting. It's not about fashion for them, it's about identity. If you could choose one thing that people would remember you by, what would it be? Here's the truth. After 50, we've earned the right to dress with ease and confidence no matter the season. And one of the simplest ways to do that is through layering. Not the heavy, bulky kind that makes you feel trapped under your own clothes, but light, clever, graceful layers that move with you. Picture this, you're at a late summer garden party. The sun is still warm, but there's that quiet shift in the air, the kind that tells you the evening will be cooler. You're wearing a soft, midi-length silk dress in a muted blush tone. Simple, flattering, and moves with the breeze. As the temperature dips, you slip on a fine merino knit, light enough not to overwhelm the dress, but warm enough to keep you comfortable. Suddenly, your outfit has more depth, more texture, more story. Layering well isn't about hiding, it's about adding. Adding interest. Adding flexibility. Adding comfort. It's the quiet art of making sure you're ready for whatever the day throws your way. Choose fabrics that play nicely together. Cashmere over silk, cotton over linen, a fine jersey under a lightweight wool. Keep the layers light and breathable so they can be added or removed without fuss. And pay attention to proportion. A longer cardigan over slim trousers or a cropped jacket over a flowing skirt, so the lines flatter your shape instead of swallowing it. Here's the secret most elegant women know. The best layers look as if they belong there, not like you've just thrown something on because you're cold. A structured blazer over a simple t-shirt. A sleeveless trench over a shift dress. Even a silk scarf loosely draped over your shoulders can transform an ordinary outfit into something polished. And here's the part most women overlook. Layering isn't just about clothes. It's about readiness. You're layering your day with possibilities. You're dressing for the lunch that might turn into a gallery visit, or the afternoon stroll that might lead to dinner under the stars. It's about saying, I'm prepared for every chapter of today. The magic of layering is that it's timeless. It works in every season, on every body, at every age. It's the gentle way of letting your wardrobe adapt without losing your style. And when you get it right, no one sees layers. They just see a woman who looks perfectly put together, from morning coffee to the last glass of wine at night. You know how some colors just seem to lift you? Not in a flashy, look-at-me way, but in a way that makes people quietly notice and think, she looks radiant today. In just a moment, I'll tell you the one color that does exactly that for women over 50, even if you've never worn it before. It's a shade that doesn't chase trends, yet somehow feels fresh every season. It works whether you're dressing for brunch with friends, an elegant dinner, or even just running errands with style. And here's the best part. It flatters nearly every skin tone, hair color, and body type. But before we get there, think about this. The most elegant wardrobes are not built on endless racks of clothes. They're built on a few key pieces that you actually wear. Pieces that fit your life right now, not the life you had 20 years ago and not the life you think you should have. The secret is combining comfort, confidence, and a quiet kind of beauty. That's where this color comes in, because when you find a shade that instantly makes you feel alive, you don't have to overthink the rest of your outfit. So stay with me, because in just a moment I'll tell you what it is, how to wear it, and why it can completely change the way you feel about getting dressed in the morning. There's a moment in every woman's style journey when she discovers that color, the one that makes her eyes brighter, her skin glow, and her whole presence feel lifted. For many women over 50, that color isn't the screaming neon of fashion magazines or the stark black of corporate wardrobes. It's a deep, refined shade, something like a rich navy. Why navy? Softer than black, but still carries authority. Doesn't drain your complexion, it enhances it. Navy is one of those universal shades that quietly works with most skin tones and hair colors. Whether your hair is silver, golden blonde, or a deep brunette, navy has a way of bringing balance and harmony to your look. Picture this: a beautifully cut navy blazer over crisp white trousers. The blazer gives you structure, the white trousers give you freshness, and the combination whispers elegance without a hint of trying too hard. Or think of a flowing navy silk blouse paired with tailored beige or cream pants. That's lunch on a sunny terrace. That's confidence in fabric form. If you're heading into evening, navy transforms again. A floor-length navy dress with simple pearl earrings, no extra fuss, is often more striking than the predictable black gown. There's a quiet allure in choosing the shade everyone forgets, but which photographs like a dream. And if you want to inject personality, navy pairs beautifully with soft metallics like champagne gold or rose gold in shoes, bags, or jewelry. Accessories in navy can be your secret weapon. A structured navy handbag instantly adds polish to an otherwise casual outfit. Navy heels are softer and more approachable than black but still feel dressy. Even a navy silk scarf draped over a neutral-toned outfit can give the impression that you've planned your look, even if you got dressed in 10 minutes. And here's the thing: navy isn't the only shade that works this magic. The idea is to find your personal instant elegance color. For some, it's a deep emerald, for others, a smoky plum or a rich teal. Key is choosing a shade that flatters your skin tone, aligns with your lifestyle, and can be worn in multiple ways: outerwear, accessories, and evening wear. Start with one investment piece in your signature shade. Maybe it's a coat you'll wear every winter, maybe it's a handbag that stays in rotation for years, or maybe it's a silk dress that becomes your go-to for special events. Build around that piece. When you dress in your personal power color, you don't just look put together. You feel anchored, radiant, and more like yourself. And in the world of elegance after 50, that's the real transformation: wearing colors that lift you up instead of washing you out. There's a quiet kind of confidence in a woman who knows her accessories. Not the ones she bought because they were on sale or the ones she keeps buried in the back of a drawer, but the few pieces that have become part of her. Think of it like this: when you step into a room, your clothes set the scene, but your accessories write the poetry. It's the soft sheen of a pair of buttery leather gloves on a winter morning. The ribbon tied into your hair, silk, in a color that has followed you through decades, catching just enough light as you lean to greet a friend. The weight of a watch you've worn for years, its face slightly worn, ticking away the seconds in a rhythm that's become familiar as your own breath. I once wore my grandmother's watch to a gala. It wasn't diamond-studded or flashy, just gold, simple, with a faint scratch across the glass from when she dropped it chasing my uncle around the garden. As I reached for a glass of champagne, a woman beside me leaned in and whispered, "I don't know why, but that watch makes me want to know everything about you." That's the power of accessories chosen with intention. They tell your story before you've even spoken. And here's the beautiful truth: over 50, you understand yourself enough to be selective. You no longer buy for trends, you collect for meaning. So instead of filling your jewelry box with things that will be forgotten, think of each piece as a chapter. A scarf that reminds you of a trip to Paris in the rain. A brooch your daughter gave you because she said it looked like your laugh. A slim leather belt that has pulled together more outfits than you can count. When you dress, let your accessories be whispers, not shouts. They should frame you, not distract from you. A heritage watch peeking from your sleeve. Pearl studs that never feel dated. Sunglasses that make you lift your chin just slightly higher when you walk. 'Cause at this stage of life, your accessories aren't just about style. They're about presence. So, tell me, do you have an accessory that always draws compliments? The kind that makes people pause, tilt their head, and say, "That is so you." There's a part of elegance no one can touch, no matter how expensive their dress or how dazzling their jewelry, and that is the way you carry yourself. Posture is your silent necklace. Presence is your invisible silk scarf. Calm is the cashmere that drapes over every movement. When you walk into a room, you don't need to rush. Take your time. Let your steps be unhurried, like you've arrived exactly when you meant to. This isn't just about looking graceful, it's about owning your pace, your space, and your story. Think of Audrey Hepburn in her films. Yes, the gowns were stunning. But what made her unforgettable was the way she stood still, unshaken, allowing a pause to work in her favor. A woman who isn't in a hurry sends a quiet message. I belong here. The next time you enter a restaurant or gathering, try softening your shoulders, lifting your chin slightly, and slowing your stride by just a breath. That's all it takes to transform a normal entrance into a magnetic one. The beauty here is that poise doesn't depend on your budget, your wardrobe, or your size. It's available to every woman at every age. And after 50, when you've collected enough life to know what truly matters, it becomes second nature. Your clothes may set the tone, but it's your composure, the way you stand, the way you smile, the way you listen without fidgeting, that people remember long after they've forgotten what shade of dress you wore. And here's the thing no fashion magazine will tell you: true elegance isn't a performance. It's the comfort of being fully yourself without needing to prove a thing. When that shows on your face and in your movements, you've mastered the most luxurious accessory there is. When you step into your closet tomorrow morning, I don't want you to see just clothes on hangers. I want you to see memories, milestones, and little love letters to yourself. The silk blouse you wore to your daughter's graduation. The linen dress that made you feel like yourself again after a long season of change. Perfectly tailored blazer that has carried you through important meetings, and even more important lunches with friends. These aren't just garments, they're chapters in your story. And if you want a wardrobe that makes you feel timeless, it's not about chasing trends. It's about choosing pieces that feel like home on your body, pieces that honor your life, your comfort, and your story. Think of it like this: a trusted silhouette, the shape that flatters you without effort. For some women, it's a softly structured A-line dress. For others, it's wide-leg trousers with a gently draped blouse. Fabrics that breathe with you: cotton, linen, cashmere, fabrics that feel as beautiful against your skin at the end of the day as they did in the morning. Colors that belong to you, not because they're in this year, but because they light up your skin, your eyes, your smile. When you know these three things, your silhouette, your fabric, your colors, you have your wardrobe compass. And here's the part that's often forgotten. A timeless wardrobe isn't a museum collection of special clothes. It's a living, breathing reflection of who you are today and who you're becoming. So if a dress makes you want to stand taller, if a blouse makes you feel softer, if a scarf makes you smile before you even put on lipstick, that's your sign. Keep it. Wear it. Love it. Because elegance over 50 isn't about looking younger. It's about looking like the most you've ever been. And every time you choose a piece that honors your life and your comfort, you're not just dressing your body, you're dressing your story. Before we close, I want to leave you with a thought. Elegance grows richer with time, and so do we. Every year adds another layer of depth to your style story. Every experience shapes the way you wear a dress, drape a scarf, or choose a pair of shoes. If you've been inspired by today's ideas, from the crisp linen trousers that move like a summer breeze to the silk blouses that seem to whisper rather than shout, I'd love to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, what's one timeless piece in your wardrobe you'll never give up? Maybe it's a tailored jacket that's traveled with you through career changes, seasons, and new adventures. Or perhaps it's a pair of pearl earrings that always make you feel polished, even on days when you're in jeans. These pieces matter not just because they're beautiful, but because they carry your history. And if you want to keep this conversation going, join our Grace After 50 circle by subscribing. This is our space, a place where women who value grace, style, and living beautifully after 50 come together. Where we swap ideas, share inspirations, and remind each other that true elegance isn't about chasing trends, but about creating a look and a life that feels like home. So, as you step into tomorrow, remember this: your style is your signature. Wear it with confidence. Wear it with joy. And most of all, wear it in a way that feels entirely you.